We are now moving into our CAMS-Net closing session. In this session, we will hear from Professor Dan Westwell, Dr. R. Subramanian, and Professor Faye McNeil.
Okay, so thanks for your attention. We will be keeping this pretty brief. This is the wrap-up for the CAMS-Net portion of the meeting. I did have a couple of slides on this. I don't know if they made it to the IT team. If not, if they did, you can put them on the screen. If not, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Oh, cool. They did. All right. I guess I need the slide thingy. Yeah.
Oh, you're just sit. Okay.
Yeah, we can just sit. Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to put up this slide one last time. This is sort of the reminder of what CAMS-Net is. I'm not going to go into everything in great detail here, but for everybody's reference, again, we are the Clean Air Monitoring and Solutions Network, and we're an international network of networks that is working on air sensors in terms of bringing together a diverse cast of actors, scientists, decision makers, citizens groups, the private sector, and so on, all towards the goal of improved use and application of air sensors. So I also just wanted to put one more plug in for getting involved. If you want to stay involved in CAMS-Net and keep the conversation going, you can send an email to that address, contact@camsnet.org, or you can just go to our website and the information is there as well. If you want to get on the email list, feel free to join. We share all kinds of great information on that. And if you want to keep the conversation going as well, we can continue these discussions after this conference. We can continue them online, or we can continue them at side meetings at other conferences and other air quality and air sensor meetings. We usually have a big presence at things like ASIC, Air Sensors International Conference, which I'm sure a lot of people here are a part of. For some specific next steps, one is we will, stay tuned for sharing of the materials. In particular, a lot of the some of the training materials from Monday for those that were here. We can make sure those are available. And then we are going to be having another meeting. We don't quite have a date set yet, but it should be mid-2025. The meeting is going to be hosted by Professor Randall Martin, who I think many of you know, based in Washington University, St. Louis. So the meeting will be held in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. And his group is probably most well known for, or one of the things they're most well known for is the Spartan Network, which is one of the largest speciated PM2.5 global networks that exists. So I'm sure we'll have all kinds of great discussions about that. Right, that's I think it for the slides. So like I said, we'll keep this short. I think just to wrap up, I thought I would ask the fellow panelists here if they could just give us a few of their insights on what were some of the highlights, what were some of the take-home points, what were some of the key learnings that occurred these last few days at this CAMS-Net meeting. So I don't know if, Suba, you want to go first, or he's pointing to Faye.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks to all of you for your attention and sticking it out until the last part of the CAMS-Net conference. I was thinking back to early 2020 when Dan and the rest of us first had the idea for CAMS-Net and were pulling together the idea, and the vision that we had actually felt a lot like this, that we have, we've had different regional meetings or different side meetings at conferences in the US, but I think this is one of the first times we've had a conference in the Global South where we were able to really facilitate South-South collaboration and bring many of our colleagues from Africa to India. This is just thrilling, and to be able to look back on the work that has been stimulated and that we've been able to, support each other on for the last 4 years. It's just so great. So that's been fun on a personal level to watch. I think that this field has grown and matured so much during that time. I could imagine what just the difference in the level of sophistication and the level of awareness across the community for the needs to, for example, calibration was a theme, the limitations of different types of sensors. If we went to a conference, let's say 5 to 8 years ago, the conversation would not be at this super high level, and we wouldn't be as productive, I think. So I think that this has been wonderful to hear. It's wonderful to hear the engagement with all the different sectors, especially government. And it's great to see that moving forward, especially here in India, and we hope that it continues to do so. And this kind of conversation that we're having is what facilitates that. So thank you all for that. So I'll leave it at that.
So just to, and yeah, thanks, Dan, for this great, and Faye, for this opportunity to partner with you folks for the CAMS-Net meeting. I think this has been really productive, and as Faye mentioned, I think there is a lot of good discussion here. And I mean, it is really good to see, for example, on the previous panel, there were, perfect. There were sensor integrators, there was a funder, there were academics, as well as us at CSTEP, all coming together and talking about how to, better use sensors, air sensors for air quality management. We also heard from the work that's being done in Africa from Kofi Omega about Breathe Ghana, from Alison Hughes and Mike Giordano about AfriSet, as well as Sarath and Deo Okure at ERCO working together on using the sensors to improve emission inventory in Kampala, for example. And I think this really speaks to the potential for the use of air sensors across the global south, as learning from all the experience that has been gathered around the world, and improving our air quality overall. So yeah, definitely, and of course, thank you to the instructors on day one, Sarath Gutikunda, Soumya Singh, Garima Raheja, and Ronak Staria, and Kevin and Albert. For actually, leading us through some really useful sessions. I think overall, from what I heard, people really enjoyed it, and so hopefully we'll get some, white papers or paths forward out of this, for some new collaborations, and of course, all of this, saving the best for the last. I really enjoyed Dr. Rudra's presentation, which really was fantastic, and I really hope that other PCBs learn from her leadership and take it forward on the better use of air quality sensors for air quality management. At the end, it's one tool in a set of tools, and so we just want to use it all together, and so you brought it all together very nicely. Thank you, sir. So yeah, so overall worked really well, and yeah, this worked out great. Thanks, Dan and Faye.
Okay, we on? All right. So yeah, it was really great to see the sort of the breadth of what folks are working on. I saw a lot of good work, especially on PM sensors. I think one of the takeaways from the session at the end of the day yesterday on gas sensors is that's an area where that might need a little bit more focus. Where I think there's room, potential for growth there, and sort of better understanding it, sort of the next iteration of this meeting. And yeah, really great. I want to thank all of the folks who've been here for the last few days. There's been really excellent participation through the trainings and all of the, really great engagement through all the talks and all the Q&A and discussions out, during the breaks. And so thank you to everyone for, really being engaged. And, that I think when the audience is engaged, the meeting is more lively and more successful.